Hi, everybody. Today I am here answering a question posed by a caregiver about what the 5 top daily responsibilities of a family caregiver is. I want to thank everybody who poses questions to me on my YouTube channel and on my social media channels. I appreciate it so much. It allows me to do these videos for you. So the top 5 responsibilities. If you are a caregiver, it really depends on the context of your situation. So who you're caring for, their age, their physical health, where they live, depends on a lot of things. And if you are a caregiver or if you have been a caregiver, you know that there are way more than 5 things. There's probably 15 things or 20 things or 30 things. So I'm going to give a top line consideration for top 5 responsibilities for caregivers, and then I'm going to give you categories to think about. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. And if you're truly interested in learning more about everything that caregivers should know and do for the people that they care for, on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, under How I Help, there are 2 online courses, one about guardianship, but one specifically about taking care of aging parents in your home. It's online. It's available 24/7. It's webinars much like this video that you're watching. So the first consideration really for family caregivers, all caregivers, and really all people in life is the idea of having compassion or learning compassion. Now, what is that? It means being sensitive to the suffering of other people. And if you're caring for someone truly, they are suffering in some manner, be it small or large, depending on the degree of their health, things that they can do today that they are struggling with, things that they can't do today that they could do yesterday. And so compassion involves understanding the lives of other people. You know, what a cancer diagnosis means to someone, what arthritis pain means to someone, what having memory loss means to someone. And if we're the caregiver and we haven't experienced these things, if we're young and perfectly healthy and our life is great, it can be very difficult to put ourselves in the shoes of another person to gain empathy and compassion. So it goes without saying, this is the number 1 requirement of being a caregiver, is being compassionate and empathetic and understanding. Now, going down that list of 5, the first one is food and nutrition. Many older adults are malnutritioned. They may not eat healthy foods. They may eat a lot of foods with salt, which can cause health issues, or eat a lot of sweets, which causes other issues. So food and nutrition for elderly people is extremely important, whether they get that from food or vitamins or nutritional supplements or protein shakes. Nutrition is important because it affects every other system in the body. Number 2, many older adults are on a lot of medications. And so if they are, as a caregiver, it's important to understand what those are, why they're needed, and to make sure that they're taken at the proper time. Number 3 is safety. And safety really is for people who have memory loss, but also people who don't have memory loss. And safety it's a tough one. And it's a tough one because many older adults don't want to use walkers or any type of equipment because they see it as looking feeble or old. But what they don't understand is they don't understand the consequences of, if I don't use this and I have a fall and I break a hip, what does that mean for the bigger picture of my life? And so the opposite idea, or the complementary idea to safety, physical weakness, muscle weakness, balance issues, is activity and exercise. So if your parents don't want to admit that they are unsafe, suggest that they do things to prevent or strengthen those things that are viewed as unsafe. So if they have balance issues, walking is great. If they are physically weak from, being unable to walk up and down steps because their legs are weak, or they can't walk distances and they're losing muscle mass in their legs, Strengthening exercises, rubber bands, little weights make a huge difference. So you can talk about safety, but you could also talk about exercise and physical strength to avoid those safe things. Now, if your parents have Alzheimer's or dementia, the safety is a totally different thing. It's not remembering to turn off the faucets on the sink. It's not turning off the stove. It's things that really could damage the house. And driving is an issue. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat today. The next important one is socialization. And socialization is important for everybody, the caregivers, the care receivers, family members, everybody. And the reason that it is so important is caregivers and older adults who need care become socially isolated. You give up your friends. Sometimes you give up activities, especially if you stop driving. So a lack of socialization affects us mentally up here. It affects being depressed. It affects having a positive attitude. It affects motivation. It affects wanting to do all these things like eating properly and taking your medications and thinking of safety and thinking of exercise. There are so many benefits to socialization. And it can be difficult for people to socialize if they're having problems with physical activity, getting around, driving. Vision problems can cause difficulty with socializing because you can't drive to get places. You're relying on people. And if you have vision problems, you may not be able to as easily read or write or see a computer screen or read a book or read a newspaper. Hearing problems also super significant in the elderly and really anyone of any age. If you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s and you're starting to experience hearing loss, it's important to understand the long-term consequences of that hearing loss, which is reduced socialization, an inability to communicate with people like you used to. There are so many aspects of all of these health issues and chronic diseases that it's so important for caregivers to pay attention to. So these are really the top 5 general areas to watch out if you're a caregiver. Again, my website, PamelaDWilson.com. A lot of information there, especially specific to this subject. My online course, Stay at Home, How to Help Elderly Parents Stay at Home and Beyond. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Thanks for joining me for this video. Have a fabulous day today. I'll see you all again soon in another video.